Sona Mahtani, would you mind coming up and telling us a little bit about your memories?
I can't tell you how proud I already am having watched that video. Narendra gave a huge amount of time to civil society. He was an institutional by himself, frankly. Local charities and not-for-profits have a huge debt to him in Haringey. I have personally benefited from his help since the age of 13. I'm so glad that Amina mentioned being 12. And he has been a huge pivot in our lives as an advisor, mentor, protector, advocate and critical friend. He was an impeccable trustee, the consummate professional, as John mentioned. He took the Nolan principles, and they really need to be renamed as the Makanji principles of public life. He took them to heart, and he put good governance into practice. Narendra really did the tough stuff, stepping into the breach in times of trouble and calmly taking the complex and knotty situations that others had either created or left behind or whatever, and posed solutions in a very constructive, kind, generous and inclusive way. He saved so many grassroots organisations and put their leaders back on track and scolded those who ran scared to protect their own reputation for community interests. The greyer my hair got, the bolder he became. And the more and more I wanted to know this guy, who'd been around since I was a youth. Throughout these decades, he was a deeply respected figure, well organised with his time for the key causes he believed in, very cleverly mirroring his passions in life with his charitable interests, namely, and I'm a little bit biased here, as the trustee of the SELBY Trust, he loved and embodied its motto, many cultures, one community. He had been our chief enabler as the councillor in charge of finance and property and Burnley Grants administration, boldly signing off the centre's conversion from a redundant school into a multi-purpose community centre and home for what is now over 100 social action organisations, many led by people from ethnic minorities. What a good decision that was. Even in this room now, we know we are from everywhere. And sharing this globally today is something he would be absolutely thrilled about, that his message is getting out there. He embraced technology and social media because it was a new way of people coming together. He loved the power that came from togetherness at SELBY, knowing that yes, of course, we'd support each other, but also we'd create opportunities for other people, especially for when the chips are down, and this would strengthen us and maximise equality and justice, especially for those who are not born with silver spoons in their mouths, who are not from Eton, and had no interest in joining the Bullingdon Club because it just wasn't cricket. Collage Arts mirrored his interest in the power of creativity. He would often encourage all of us to go to open studios where Manoj and Preeti had organised the chocolate factory, to view and buy the work of local artists and artisans. Cinema, music, theatre were all great passions. And he could get a bit nerdy on occasion, you know, about what year it was that Motown classic came out. And what about that Indian actress? And she was in that film, wasn't she? Of course he knew all the answers and I knew none. It was completely wasted on me. Till I saw Shabana Asmi in Fire. Then I got it. So that was one that was of interest to me. All of us wanted Narendra to take on executive roles, but he only wanted to be the chair of the Burnley Grant Trust. And it was here that Narendra could celebrate Burnley's life, his courage, his achievements, through his other great love, which of course was history. And making learning about the past a powerful route for action on race equality, but there is still much work to do. And of course, Narendra was, as has been said, a good early supporter of Black History Month, along with Ansel Ward, Linda Bellos and others. Narendra overall, he boosted the people. He elevated the artists, the community organisers and the activists. And his message to us all was, become good and known for what you do. Realise your own opportunity to make history, not just as individuals, but for Haringey, our community, and actually just all of humanity. That'll do. Community politics was at the root of it, as has been said regularly about in the mid-80s. I think I was doing my GCSEs at the time. But he met young community activists from Asian Action Group, Bobby and Joe Joseph, challenging fascism on the streets, and the fact that he, a councillor, an Indian councillor, got arrested. This was so sexy to us. You know? He was one of us, and he was ready to take the system on, along with other people that got arrested that day, Raj Gupta, Bernie as well. And this got him so much street cred. Those terrible days are back, with intimidation levels going up. But even in the days prior, as Khaled mentioned, he was there making a stand against the attacks on Muslim women. And the mainstream media is in denial about this. But it is the elephant in the room that Narendra never let go. He saw it all too clearly. And I think that's why Narendra loved elephants so much, you know. Hundreds of elephants in his house. Pictures, sculptures, paintings, trinkets. He was always ready to talk about the uncomfortable topics and unpeel them. Race, colonialism, racism, sexism, homophobia, the rights of disabled people, inequality of any kind, and he made himself the walking heritage hub on all these matters. I often sat on his couch, pick his brains, or share my ideas, and he'd half be watching the cricket, and I'd be munching on all his Indian snacks. But he's always ready to talk about that big British elephant in the room. So let's not forget the other cheek, you know, the personality of the elephant. The gentle giant, the memory, the stoicism, the resilience, the stubbornness, the humour, always caring, always thinking of the needs of others in the flock. And Narendra had all those special qualities in spades. And I think Padma for Noel Park and Friendship Global calls him Ganeshi. A dividing quality was about how normal he was. I could actually take him anywhere. You know, lesbian dudes, he could come. And he could communicate very complex concepts very simply. And he was up for a lot of fun. And he spent so much time with all of us, looking out for us, buying us presents, sending us cards. He drove us home safely. He always made himself available. It's that kindness that you spoke of. But you know, he always had his feet on the ground and ear right there. So just as a closing point, I'll just tell you about the time when I was in Wood Green High Road and I got a call from a friend, former councillor, now passed away as well, who said, the Sainsbury's cash point in Wood Green, they're dishing out double money. We got down there. Of course, I'm from Tottenham, yeah? So I put my card in. I said, I want £100. Sure enough, £200 comes out. I checked the receipts, all right, it's £100. It's working. Let's get on the phone. I phoned as many people as I could. Of course, Narendra was one of them, right? And I phoned 10 people. Who turned up? Narendra. So, from the beginning to the end, he really was one of us. And he was a servant of the people and cleverly disguised as a member of the establishment. And I hope after this, Narendra, we'll all share a toast to you. We salute you and thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I don't know how we're going to deal with life, but you have done so much for us, for so many of us. And thank you.